this is a £5 laptop, and this is a £500 laptop. In this video, we're going to be opening them, testing them, and seeing how portable they are.
So first going to start with a £500 computer. So it's running Windows 11, has an i5, 12GB of RAM, and well, one of these SSDs. Other than that, this thing was in use for about a year or two. It was my sister's computer. The dog sort of ate the cable a bit. So moving on to this £5 computer, the display looks a lot better than the other one. I don't know how well it's going to pick up on camera. The colours are a bit washed out on this display, whilst on this one, it sort of has definition. You can sort of read everything a lot better. Alright, and this one has a Core i7, but it is the second gen, I think. 16 gigs of RAM. It did come with 8, put a little bit extra in. And it also has a dedicated graphics card. It's not the best, but at the time this was made, that was probably quite good. And also SSD. So these computers both have Intel processors. This one has a 10th gen i5, whilst this one is only a 2nd gen i7. And we're going to start this off with a light test. So let's just open Geekbench and, well, see what score it gets. So the test is done, and this thing has quite a good score, but 16,000 single core and, well, 3,300 multi-core. Whilst this old thing has, that's quite bad actually. 406 single core, and, well, basically that single core is faster than all the cores in this thing. So, which will probably not help in the test that we're going to put them both through, but this thing is a lot newer. So now we've got that out of the way, let's see how good the speakers are. Let's do a YouTube speed test. Oh, the keyboard on this one does feel a lot better than that one though. Right, that was roughly about the same time. I mean, the speakers aren't bad. There is no bass in that speaker whatsoever. That was with the speaker at 67, and I'm assuming that was on full blast. Alright, so now let's do the same on here. Oh, it was bang on 67. Alright, already I think it sounds better. I thought the speakers were going to be worse, because this thing's a lot thicker, so it can pack more bass in, but this one definitely sounds a lot better than this. Alright, so now we know which one has the best speakers. Let's go on to portability, because, I mean, realistically, when you use a laptop, well, the reason you get one is so you can move it around when you go places. Well, this one, I can easily, well, say easily, sort of easily hold it with one hand. This one, definitely a lot harder. There's a slight dent in there, but this one's lighter. This one, probably noticed, a lot thicker, not as portable, but I don't know how well you can hear this. This is metal. So if you were to whack someone with this, I mean, the laptop should be fine. But if you go into this thing, I mean, it's a lot lighter. Would not trust this whacking someone. It'll probably snap in half. Actually, should we do a flex test? All right. That's barely any pressure. I don't know how well you can see it bending. Now let's see if this one bends. Okay. Yeah, alright. Yeah, that's not moving. Also, as well as that, let's see how much keyboard flex this thing has. Basically, the more flexible your keyboard, the worse it feels to type on. So, yeah, there's pretty much no keyboard flex in there. Oh, no. I don't know how well you can see that, but there is keyboard flex. This one's quite solid. This one bows in a bit. As well as that though, this one is harder to come open in your bag because you do need to press that in order to open it. Whilst this one could just literally just fling open and you can get all your coins and stuff in there. So flipping these two over, already you can see with this, if you need a battery replacement, flick that switch, it just lifts up. If you need to replace the battery in this, you need to unscrew all these screws, find the battery, and if you want to change the RAM in this, literally all you have to do, you get your screwdriver, you got a screw here, there is meant to be a screw in there, but that's been pre-removed, that's how easy this thing is, and then literally just, there you go, then the whole thing comes off. Change your RAM here, pull your RAM stick out, pull it out, push it in, got a Wi-Fi card, got your CD drive, and then you got your two big fans here, and this is proper metal. So in order to change the RAM in storage in this one, you'll need to undo all of these screws. Some screws are missing because I did remove the bottom panel before and then didn't put any thread locker on the screws, so they all just started coming out. So you do open the bottom of your computer and you move it around a lot, and make sure to put at least a bit of thread locker on each screw. So all the screws are removed, you literally need to pry it up, and there you go. The good thing about this thing is, if you look here, There's room for a hard drive or an SSD. This is where your normal SSD is, which is covered in a thermal pad for some reason. I don't know if I did that. Did I do that? I don't think I did. But the storage is also upgradable. This is literally the smallest battery I've ever seen in a laptop. But thermal pad is a bit dusty from all the dust being blown around in here. It does look like that quite a bit of dust has built up. And on the other side as well, there's a load of dog hair in this. We might as well clean the whole thing. So let's remove the battery. I say remove, disconnect the battery. Should we replace the thermal paste? I don't think the thermal paste... You know what? Thermal paste has never been replaced on this thing. So let's do that. This stuff isn't crusty, so we're just going to wipe it off. Oh, I think there's space here for an integrated graphics card, eh? And then, I don't know what they are. This is a bit loose. Why is this a bit loose? Alright, so now that's on. Now we just hit this on. Oh, I forgot to plug the battery in. Hang on. There we go. Right, battery's in. Don't think I forgot anything, except from the thermal pad. You know what, let's put the thermal pad here so it conducts it onto this copper piece. Even though there is quite a lot of dust on this, so it might not even do anything, but... And then we can just push this on. I don't think that is touching whatsoever, but, you know. And then we can just screw these down. Do we need thread locker? If they come out, then, you know, just make sure you screw them back in. Is this metal? Just confirming. Yep, that's metal. This is plastic. No, that's metal. Oh, yeah, that is metal. I thought that was plastic. So now we can just put this back on. Literally push down and then just put this screw in. Also, as well as this, these batteries are also upgradable. Basically, you slit this open, pull this apart, and then there's some little cells in here that you can just replace. This computer is a lot more upgradable than this computer. So this thing, if you're wondering what this is, it is meant for a hard drive. This thing's missing it. Apart from that, we have 2 USB ports and 1 display port. On the back, we have VGA port, we have whatever that is, and a HDMI port. And an Ethernet port. And then on the other side, we got 2 more USB ports, whatever that is. Microphone port, headphone port, SD card reader. We've got, what is this? Oh, we've got floppy disk reader, I think. And we've got a CD drive. But in the £500 laptop, we have 3 USB ports, 1 HDMI connector, and SD card slot, and a headphone jack. That's pretty much all this thing has. For the port selection, this thing gets the point. So how many more years will these keep running for? And, well, what problems will you find? So I've used this one for about a week, and this one, well, my sister's used. So, but in the week of using this, I have noticed, like it is now, I'm moving that, but the mouse isn't moving. I've tried updating the drivers, all that stuff, and sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. The bottom right click doesn't work. Top one does. This little nipple thing in the middle bit of the keyboard there, that works. And as well as this, I also think the SSD is on its way out, because it was sat in a drawer for a month, turned it back on, this taskbar went, reinstall Windows, and it was alright. So I'm assuming it lost some data somewhere. Whilst this thing, although it is 14 years newer, pretty much the only thing that went wrong with this is this trackpad. This trackpad, something went wrong with it. I think the screws got too loose and then it wasn't clicking. Literally opened it, moved some screws around, it was fine. So for reliability, I'm going to give it to this thing. How many more years will it last? You know, this will last you a lot more than this. But the screen does look better on that. The keyboard feels a lot better. Sounds quite cheap, bit springy. Now let's see what this one sounds like. I do prefer this keyboard. This one just feels cheap. Forgot to mention, another problem with this is, I think the battery's on its way out, because this was on charge for like 2 days straight, and it was on 6%. For this test, we're gonna open the Heaven benchmark, just see which one gets the highest FPS. Both are on the same settings, quality on the high. Try and do this at the same time. Oh no, it's loading. All right, play now. What? Oh, I need tap run. Oh, I'm a bit dumb. I was clicking the ad. This thing, 9 FPS. It's on 9 now. Whilst this thing is on 12 FPS. Look at that. All right, I'm just gonna let these two run and do whatever they need to do, and then we'll be right back. So these have just finished. FPS 11.8, 297 as the score. This has 14 FPS and the score's only 360. So these two things aren't very far off, except I don't know if you can hear it. You can definitely hear the fans on this thing, whilst this one is quiet. And I've just realised it's not been plugged in, so we could probably get more FPS out of this. You know what? Let's run it again, but this time let's plug it in. So this time it was plugged in, and well, the score didn't really improve that much. It's on 371 instead of 360. So pretty much this is better than that one. It's almost 4 times faster. If you had a budget of £5 Great British pounds, then definitely get this thing, which, well, you're probably not going to find one for £5. I did. But if you had a budget of £500, don't get one of these. Just get a ThinkPad or something. Don't know how well you can see that, but literally the whole thing moves. So that's going to be it for this video. Thank you, people, for watching. Please like, subscribe, all that stuff. And we'll see you next week. Transition.